Water Lilies and Monet. You were water lilies before he painted you, and you became the water lilies of Monet. You stayed flawless in the painting, though you became limp and decayed. You let millions remember your grace, yet you simply were the lilies under a bridge. You were the frame of mind of Monet, and you became his projection. You remained wondrous in your beauty, though you would hardly claim the merits. You brought many to a state of delight, yet you were to die on the face of water.
I love poetry. I always loved to write poetry. Since I was little, I wanted to keep everything on page. I don't want to let the life just slip away without knowing where I'm going. So I would always write down what I have experienced, the good and bad, the bittersweet part of life. And I thought, if someone can share that moment with me, even by not knowing me, who Anne is, can still have the same emotions, can be evoked by my words, that is something really, really nice. I love sharing my poems with my family and friends, and I recently had a great opportunity to read at Laguna Art Museum for them. In a wind filled with thinning air, we gathered at a place we had dreamed of. Your bones had matured here, your legends followed by birds who built their nests around them. They sang songs around our stories, flaunted our lost time and the ages, for our sons and grandsons, daughters and granddaughters, progenitors and ancestors, folks who knew you well and those who never heard you talk. I was there, had belonged with you, bargaining for your everlasting desire, finally lost to time. The book title is Love Rhythms. So the purpose of love has to do with dream some way. It's called dream work. You fancied you could catch your moon with the star letters blocking your eyes and meteorites colliding in your ears. Perhaps it was the moonlight that caused your wish to reach and touch the clearest crater on the moon alongside the brightest reflection from the earth. Perhaps it was your passion for moon fishing that inspired your kindness to me and your devotion to love. Perhaps on every moony night like tonight, you meant to repeat all that and to recount our story in a grain of truth before we disappeared from the galaxy where our love was to be devoured by the long passage of time.
I had so much fun this evening. It was lighthearted. It was a little emotional because people were really connecting with Anne while she was reading her poetry. And it was just a great experience. I truly enjoyed it. Well, I like Anne because she shows herself. She seems very willing to let people know what she thinks and how she feels. She's very deep. She's emotional with her thoughts and her sharing of how she perceives the world, but she threads in some whimsical, fun theming with it. So it was excellent.
And Anne has a piece in the book called The Sun. And I just loved it. It says, I crashed into the sun this afternoon as I drove down Pacific Coast Highway. And I crash into the sun periodically, and it's a splendid crash, and I just say, here's someone else who saw the same thing. It was pink, red tomato dyed, a plate on a pale white sheet, and looked asleep. dazed inside smoky silver clouds. I was warm, melting into the sunset. That's cool. But she uses the inner juxtaposition of words with gaps to establish the rhythm, and does that so very cleverly and so very well. To me, Ann's ability to look at what I would perceive as being a mundane event, the sunset, and to perceive so many facets of that sunset and be able to transpose those thoughts into words that another person comprehends simply by reading the words, I guess that's poetry.